But today when I talk about God is your father, I'm not focusing on gender, I'm focusing on function. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, don't get caught up on the gender and miss the function. Because as our father, there are certain functions that God has or ought to have in our life. And if God does not perform those functions in your life, then you can't relate to him as father. The first function is accountability. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, accountability. See, some of us kind of get a little too chummy with God. We get too cozy and casual with our Creator. Amen. But God is not our homeboy. God is not our road dog. God is not even our BFF. God is not our peer. God is not our equal. God is not our sanctified Santa Claus. God is not our genie in a bottle. God is not our slave, our servant, or our funky. God is your father. And as your father, you are accountable to him. You see, many of us, we live in a day and age where nobody wants to be accountable to anybody. I don't want a father. Some people don't want a father because I don't want to eat my vegetables. I don't want a curfew. I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to do my homework. I don't want to do what's right. I don't want to do what the Bible. I don't want a father. But when you got a father, you got to learn how to come correct. Amen, amen. When we were little children, when we would come home from school, we would stick our head in the door. And before we said, do we have any snacks? The first question we asked, is Daddy home? Because the answer to that question determines how you come in the house. And what you do soon as you get in the house. If Dad is home, you take your books to your room, you hang up your coat, you tip quietly through the house. You act like you're not there because Daddy's home. But if Daddy ain't home, you bust all up in the house, throw your coat on the floor. When Daddy is home, there's a sense of accountability. And when you have God as your father, that means that if you don't have an earthly father, you still have an everlasting accountability at some level. And so it means that God is Father.